Hey guys, how you doing? Just doing a rear shock install. I had to take out all the stuff from my trunk. I thought I'd go ahead and talk about the rear trunk stiffener. They actually use this part in the S209. It's this piece right here. I'm installed in the WRX, so just for you guys who wanted to know, it fits. But it's a pretty expensive piece. I got it from Subaru of America. Actually, this was not the part that you can get right now from Japan. It was pretty expensive. The pink part, this section right here, the guard, it's obviously not required, but I went ahead and installed it. It seemed like a really special part, so I wanted to complete it. It's actually quite difficult to install. You have to drill 2 holes to install the guard stiffener. There's 4 holes in total to install it. 2 of them are already found inside the vehicle, and the other 2 you have to drill with a bit. One thing you do have to do to install it is remove the rear deck cover, this cover right here. In order to get to that, you would have to remove the rear pillars as well, pillar covers. It's a bit of a pain, but not too bad if you really want to do it. The actual stiffener itself, it connects to the chassis. Let me see if I can get a kind of a better view. These holes were already existing on the car. Yeah, right there, those 2 holes right there. I used on in the trunk. It's here's one hole that I used, and the other one on this side right here. It was installed in the trunk. You have to remove the trunk liner to get to access to those 2 areas, and then you just install it from there. This part is pretty good, just like the front stiffener that I installed. You have to give it 5 millimeters, I think, of tension. Create 5 millimeters. You create tension from 5 millimeters of separation. I guess this end right here. Yeah, this end right here. It's hard to see. I'm sorry. It's just the darkness. If you can see right there, there's a little line. You see the little notch, that little black notch. From there to the end is 5 millimeters. So you create a little bit of tension after you're done. And then you just do your normal installations. Let me get to the other side of the trunk so you can see the mounting areas. There you go. That's a much better view of the trunk area. That's where you mount it, on that side. And then here's the guard bar to protect it. I'm not sure if it really does that much. But in terms of stiffness, it's not as effective as a front draw stiffener. I believe in general, because it's not really tied to the chassis, where the front draw stiffener actually is tied to the suspension. The comparability is in the difference. You could feel a difference when you're changing lanes, and that's pretty much all that I really felt. It was about the same as the effect. Honestly, it felt about the same as installing the extended subframe bolts and the upper stopper for the front section of the rear subframe. I'll go ahead and put those parts down below so you know what I'm talking about. But this part, in comparison to those, it's a lot more expensive. The effect, I didn't really feel as strong. But I believe you install it in conjunction with the lower subframe, I guess the rear flexible subframe brace, it may actually have some type of effect that's a little bit more enhanced. But there is definitely a feeling. You can feel it. It's a really super cool part, very rare in terms of installation, and I haven't really seen too many of these installed. But it was pretty easy to install. Would I get it for the next car? I probably would, but I would do it. I mean, if I had the money. I mean, for performance, I feel like adding the subframe bolts and the lower stopper and the rear subframe flexible brace would probably be sufficient enough for a regular street car. But if you want to track it, I guess this will make some difference. Once again, I think the major difference is that it's tied to the chassis rather than the suspension. So the stiffening isn't as, I guess, the effects of the stiffening isn't as noticeable as it was when I installed the front draw stiffener, which ties directly to the lower control arm in the front. But that's about it. You know, it was exciting when I got it. I loved it. So I just got it just for its novelty and just having a really cool STI piece. But performance-wise, it's not the world of a difference. It's about the same as rear subframe bolt, extended rear subframe bolts in the lower stopper. Just thought I'd talk about it. It looks cool. I think it's more of a collectible item. I really appreciate STI for putting this part out for the S209. So anyways, thanks again, and talk to you later.